going on out there, everybody? Bigfoot Mike coming at you live, episode number 4. Special treat for y'all. We're at a remote location here, downtown Durant. Squatch, tell them where we're at.
We're at Annex Games, so if you guys do not know what Annex Games is and you're in the Durant area, you need to come check this place out. They have Magic the Gathering cards, Pokemon, they play Smash Bros. They've got Smash Bros tournaments going on. They play Warhammer. They've got PCs set up that you can play, Xboxes, PlayStations. They have VR right behind us. That's their VR setup. They have all kinds of stuff here, guys. And it's a great place, even if you don't know how to play any of these games, to just come and hang out. And they've been really nice to us, really hospitable, I guess is the word, and letting us do this podcast here.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Ty, man, great guy. I've known him for years. It's been awesome to see this thing growing, and hey, esports is the future, and this is awesome to have this here in our area. So we're gonna jump into this episode. It's a little bit different format for y'all. It's a little podcast action. So we're definitely excited about that. We're gonna kind of recap, do a little background on Bigfoot, as well as kind of talking about a recap of 2020 year and then looking ahead to 2021. So to kind of get ourselves started, I know obviously podcasts, this is something that we want to try and incorporate into the fold. I want to give you all the backstory behind Bigfoot, how we came up with the name, everything there. I'll tell you, I've been trying to do this for several years. This is something that through the pandemic, through everything that we've been dealing with, it was like, man, an opportunity that really grow the sport. Thinking about, man, we got to have something like this in our area, and just to be able to get more discs in people's hands. So that's kind of how this all got going. Now, the name Bigfoot was kind of interesting because that's kind of the folklore, kind of mythical creature here for this area. I know down in southeast Oklahoma, there's a lot of Bigfoot kind of memorabilia, restaurants and shops and different little things. So if any of y'all have ever been down in southeast Oklahoma, it's really cool to be able to see that. And you know, Bigfoot also kind of factored into me. I know myself, when I'm playing a lot of disc golf, I tend to be in the trees. So you know what, I feel like that kind of ties into Bigfoot itself. But then also too, you know, one of the things about Bigfoot is you don't know when you're going to see Bigfoot. You know, there's kind of a mystique, a mystery behind it. So all those things kind of culminating into one. I wanted something that was quick, easy name for everybody to remember, and just Bigfoot kind of stuck. Designing the logo was kind of cool because I wanted to kind of keep it relatively simple but straightforward, something that's going to be recognizable from a distance. And so yeah, all those things kind of rapid fire into it, and Bigfoot Disc Golf Shop kind of was born. And it's just awesome to be able to see it grow to where it is now, and we just are looking forward to pushing the envelope a bit further. And so, you know, let's kind of segue into a recap of 2020. One of the big events that we started off the year was our Magnolia Open, which is here at our Lake Durant course, which is a PDGA B tier, which Squatch actually won his first PDGA victory. So let's have Squatch, let's turn the mic over, let's have him kind of give you all a little breakdown of that event and his performance there.
All right, guys, so the Magnolia Open. This tournament was originally supposed to happen in May, but due to the year of 2020 and everything that happened with COVID, this tournament got pushed back. And honestly, I think it was a good thing that it got pushed back. It was bad that it had to happen, but it allowed us to get the course ready. Because guys, this course was cut from like nothing. Like the trees that you go through, you don't want to be Bigfoot on this course. Like the trees are bad. Some of you guys may have seen Brody Smith's video where he talked about the trees being worse than Northwood's gold. If somebody is saying that, if the guy that won the tournament is saying the trees are worse than Northwood's gold, they're bad, I promise you. So, anyways, it's an amazing course though. It just needed a lot of work, and it still does need some work, and we're working on it. But it looked great for the Magnolia Open. My big thing going into it was that it being at Lake Durant, some people know this about me, some people don't. I actually grew up at Lake Durant. I lived a quarter mile from where the disc golf course is for 16 years. So it kind of felt like my backyard. It kind of felt like where Squatch needed to come in and play and win. And so I knew the property probably better than anyone else that was out there on the course. And I came in with a plan of these are the holes I'm going to attack. These are the ones that I'm going to kind of go for a par, because some of the holes are really just tough. I mean, you have to have an arm or an amazing shot, like something crazy has to happen on some of those holes. But it was amazing for me to win and go up against some other really good locals. The top three I know were all Durant locals in rec division, and so that was amazing to see. And obviously, it wasn't just my first tournament win, it was also somebody that's been very important to the disc golf world this past year, Brody Smith's first win. So Mike, you want to talk a little bit about what Brody Smith has done for the sport last year?
You know, it's been really insane. I'm sure if y'all have been following any type of disc golf out there, you're very aware of, you know, Brody Smith and his involvement in the game, and obviously coming from his ultimate background, I think it's just been kind of like fish to water. He's been putting in the work. I'm sure so many of y'all have come across some of his videos online. So his social media presence has been incredible. YouTube following is just massive, and obviously a lot of his discs that we've even carried in the shop. So I mean, he's really attacked disc golf from so many different angles. I'll tell you a quick story though. Whenever he was going to come play in the Magnolia Open, we really didn't know he was coming till about 2 weeks before. I'll never forget, we made a post, you know, when he posted, he tweeted that out on his Twitter account and his upcoming tournament schedule, and when he registered for the event, I mean, I think a lot of us were kind of freaking out about it, because we were, at that time, we were working weekly at the course. There's a committee of ours here in the Durant community. We're getting out there, just rolling up the sleeves and getting the chainsaws out and just getting stuff done out there. When he announced that, I mean, we took it to like another degree of
I think more work got done in the week after that announcement than what it had in like the previous 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. So again, I feel like there's like that Brody Smith effect, and obviously, you know, his involvement playing at the highest level, I think he's definitely met with some mixed reviews. I think it definitely was a bit quick for him to get out there on the tour, really playing with the best of the best. And I think he made the right decision by, you know what, kind of realizing that, hey, you know what, I need to tone it down. I need to start playing more regional, local kind of events. And sure enough, he ended up in Durant, Oklahoma, won that event, and it just, I mean, it created an awesome opportunity for him. He played some outstanding golf on a very difficult course. So technically, at least as the way it sits, Brody has our lowest recorded round out there, so he's got the course record. So we'll see about you know, maybe this upcoming season, and maybe seeing if those records can be broken. But I tell you, it was a tough event. One thing that Squash didn't mention, being in the middle of August, it was very tough. I mean, you're talking about 100+ degrees. It's a tough walking course. I mean, there's no easy holes really.
I was drinking 3 or 4 waters around, and that was like minimum what you had to have, or you were going to dehydrate.
And I'll be honest, there was a couple people that could not finish through. In fact, there was one ambulance called. Guy was not hydrated enough, and he was an advanced level player, so he was very experienced. A lot of tournament experience underneath him, so it's just interesting to kind of see that dynamic and how everybody adapted to it. But it was a 2-round event, so it was really fun to be able to see that. And I think definitely going forward, I think we're just excited for that to be kind of a staple event. So we're looking at Dynamic Disc Carrollton, Steven's story. For those of y'all that have never played in one of his events, I mean, he just pulled off an awesome event. I helped out DJing and introducing all the players, so that was fun. Kind of created a unique environment there, and so it felt a lot bigger than a B tier. And so definitely that's something that I think we're definitely looking forward to, helping Steve-O and DD Carrollton be able to kind of keep that tradition alive for 2021. And so yeah, to kind of segue off of that, Squatch, anything else you'd like to mention about Brody, or anything from your perspective?
Yeah, something I thought of, you were talking about the DJing. I thought one of the coolest things, first off, was having a tee-off song. That got me hyped up for the round, for that final round, having my tee-off song. Something else that was cool was hearing, like 6 holes away, hearing Jomez music while we were playing. That was like, this is the disc golf mood. I know some people don't always watch them, but for me, they were my first, like, that was who I watched. That's what got me into disc golf, was watching Jomez. And so I don't know, just everything about that tournament was amazing for me, other than the conditions, it being so hot. Everything else was great, and I really enjoyed it.
I know, I mean, again, just being able to be a part of that was awesome, and getting a lot of experience myself as a tournament director. Obviously, this year was my first year as an official tournament director, so there's a ton of credit that goes out to Steven's story, as well as everyone here involved with the PDGA here in Oklahoma. Devin Owens is a great example. He was a mentor early on with us just growing disc golf here in Durant. He was someone that I was able to reach out to as well, and it's just been incredible to see, you know, the community kind of help lift us up. Jason Schwacke, who's the Oklahoma State coordinator, has been another awesome source. Really kind of showed me the ropes early on, midway through the summer and the pandemic, of, you know, how to run an event, how he runs events, and so definitely been great to be able to have those mentors out there that have really been able to help us push the game forward. So definitely shout out to them. If you don't know who those guys are, definitely want to take a look at disc golf scene. If they're ever running an event, man, y'all got to get out there and join one of those. But definitely this next year, Magnolia Open is moving to April, so weather conditions should be a little bit more tame, so we're pumped about that. I think that maybe should also get a few more people out too. And so, yeah, moving on, let's talk a little bit about Bigfoot Tour Series. And so that was something that I wanted to be able to offer some more tournaments locally and in this region. And so I thought, you know, hey, Bigfoot Tour Series having several events that were scattered around the area. I think that really created a nice opportunity for people not to have to travel super far, but also be able to see some new courses and be able to see some things out there. So our first event was at Broadlawn Park in Ardmore. Shout out to the Ardmore Club. They've been awesome with helping get that course up and running, getting it nice and mowed. Obviously, City of Ardmore playing a huge factor with that. But it was a great event. We had roughly about 55 players. Super fun, and there's 2 rounds at that Broadlawn Park, so it was great to be able to see a couple first-time winners at that. You know, it's nice to have that familiarity. Myself being tournament director, since I've worked so closely with the Durant Executive Board, helping run the minis in this area, I think it's created that familiarity when you go to these events. Hey, there's Mike, there's Bigfoot. You know, we want to support, obviously, Mike, but also be able to get out there in the PDGA Tour. And so that's kind of one of my overlying goals as well with it, is to get more players in our area playing these events, because I know we're all at different skill levels, and it's just a matter of getting out there and really rolling up the sleeves and giving it your all, battling out there. And so it's been great to be able to put on these Bigfoot Tour Series events. We jumped from that event over to McAllister, which is the Buffalo Run Tournament. This was the 7th annual Buffalo Run, one of the big events of the state, really.
Yeah, a lot of people in Oklahoma look forward to the Buffalo Run.
It's one of those events that I know has Matt House and his team. They've run this event basically from its inception. He's played a huge role with that course, for one, but I mean, he's definitely a legend of the game, in my opinion. And so I know it's been just an honor for me to be able to work with the McAllister Club and everybody behind the scenes there, because that course, if y'all never played Buffalo Run in McAllister, Oklahoma, boy, do you have a treat. I think there's also another course there, Krebs. Definitely 2 of my favorite top 5 in the whole state of Oklahoma. So McAllister and Krebs is just 2 awesome courses. If y'all have never played them, definitely worthwhile to make the trip. Some awesome restaurants and stops up there too. But I will say that was my first ever multi-day B-tier event, and so it's a lot of nerves going into it. Obviously, I felt well prepared, but I know it's one of those things where until you've done it, you don't really know. And so thankfully, we were able to run a very smooth event. Everybody had a blast. We had 105 players. Quick story behind it is, you know, the event, we were probably about 3 weeks away from the event. We had about 45 players registered, and I remember having a conversation with a couple of the McAllister guys, like, hey, you know, if we got to 50 guys, I'd be pretty happy with it. And sure enough, like that next couple days later goes on, and boom, the tournament fills up. We're at 90, and I'm getting emails left and right, like, hey, can we get in? We're alternates, can we do this? And so it was kind of, we were trying to figure out how can we get a few more players in this. And so I definitely appreciate working with the McAllister group to be able to get us those extra few holes so we can get those extra players in. One of which was Gavin Ossenkop, who he won the Buffalo Chip event. He's an MPO open level pro. And so he emailed and said, hey, Mike, is there any way you can get me in there? I won the chip. I want to try and go for the double. And so sure enough, we were able to make that happen. And Mr. Brandon Cawthorn was our MPO winner, edged out Gavin by a few shots. And so it was great to watch, just awesome golf. I'll tell you one other thing. The juniors in that McAllister area, we had a couple. Gavin Watkins, just unbelievable talent, played tremendous. It was an awesome finish as well. There was also another playoff. That junior division went to a playoff hole, and also the MA1 division went to a playoff hole. So it was a super exciting weekend for disc golf. It was definitely a jam-packed weekend. So for me, definitely the biggest event that I've helped put on. but definitely couldn't have done it without the guys from McAllister there helping. And to kind of round out our Bigfoot Tour Series is the event coming up this Saturday, which is a C-tier here at Lake Durant. 2 rounds. Again, we're calling it the Bigfoot finale. And so I'm super excited about this one. We're actually going to be giving away some awesome prizes, and player pack's going to be awesome. That's one thing that I know a lot of people, if you don't know, definitely be ready for it. But every time I put on an event, I love putting out good player packs, because I've been on the other side of it. I've been to events where I don't get good player packs, and I know how frustrating that can be. So I know for me, that's one thing that I love about it, and it's something I want to keep going. But yeah, just moving beyond that, I know we're talking a little bit about some personal goals with disc golf, and so I wanted to maybe get with Squatch here, flip the mics around, get Squatch's goals for upcoming 2021.
Yeah, so alright guys, I've got a few personal goals with 2021, with disc golf in particular. One of those being, first off, I want to be 900 rated by June. Currently I'm sitting at 876. I've had a few 900 rated rounds. Both of my rounds at Lake Durant at Magnolia Open were over 900. But I have a couple from Buffalo Run. It's a great course, but very hard if you're a beginner. That was my first PDGA tournament, was the Buffalo Chip Championship, and the nerves got to me. I had some bad rounds. That happened in May, so those ratings will fall off in June, and so I'm hoping between now and June rating, I have enough good rounds that I can get to 900. I really want to start playing up into intermediate. I'm definitely going to be playing an intermediate for the Magnolia Open. Since I won rec, I feel like that's fitting for me to go ahead and play up in the next level in that tournament and really challenge myself. Let somebody else win rec. I've done that. I don't want to do that anymore. Let somebody else have it. But that's a big personal goal for me. I want to play in more tournaments this next year. I played in 5 sanctioned tournaments this past year. I'd like to try to hit about 10 or more potentially, and that's something that I think is very doable, considering that I didn't start this past year until May. There's going to be some early tournaments that I'll have an opportunity to jump into.
Yeah, absolutely. And to piggyback on that, I think definitely, for me, best finish I had this past year was a 4th place finish. It was at the Scissortail event that the Ardmore Club put on, Evan Joliffe. Awesome event, and I really was in the hunt right there the last few holes. I just kind of threw a few shots away that I should have finished 3rd in. So I think my goal for the upcoming 2021 season is to really hone in on just focused up on, crossing that finish line, finding that first place. And so that's definitely on my agenda. Last round that I played, I had some rounds up 880 level, and so definitely that's where I kind of want to see myself in. Kind of 875 is my goal for the end of year, December 2021. So a lot of work ahead. I know there's definitely no shortcuts to it when it's all said and done. You've got to be able to put the rounds together when it's under pressure. And so I'm definitely excited about that going forward.
We were duking it out in that tournament.
That's true.
We knew first was kind of out of reach, but me and Mike were like battling for 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in that area. I think I ended up finishing 2nd in that one. And for most of the round, me and Mike were tied. I think it came down to like the last couple of holes there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was on the chase card. I was tied with a couple guys, but I got bumped to the chase card, and so I didn't really. I know there's different strategies about where you're at, all that. And I looked at it kind of closely, and I knew I was kind of close, but I was like, I'm going to stay focused. I'm not even going to worry about score. I'm just going to play steady. And sure enough, kind of looked at the score, like 3 holes left, and I'm like tied. I think we were tied with 3 holes left, and I think that kind of got to me mentally, because I was like, I'm going for it. Threw a kind of a loose shot, and they were throwing shots away. But it was a good learning experience, and I think that's the other side to this as well. For those of you that maybe are not big into, competing yet on the PDGA circuit, it definitely kind of puts some more perspective on how you play, how you approach your rounds, and just kind of like some of the tips that we gave in the last video. There's certain things that under pressure you want to be able to go to, rely on, and obviously sometimes you're going to make some mistakes, and that's how you really learn. So I know for us, that event was pretty fun, that we were kind of duking it out, even though we were on separate cards. I think Squatch was on the lead card, and I was on the chase card, so we were able to kind of battle neck and neck. And so definitely, I know, kind of segueing that into goals for the shop, I know one of those big goals is to start putting on more events in Texas. So that's kind of an area, obviously we're so close to Sherman Dennis, and there's some awesome courses there, Pecan Grove and Munson. And so that's something that definitely working with the Red River Club and Sean Flynn and all the guys behind the scenes down there, I think would be awesome. Such an iconic course and just awesome to be able to play at. So definitely, if you're in the area, you've never ventured out to some of those courses, definitely want to do so. Pecan Grove is super tough course, wooded, it's got some open holes, got a lot of undulation, and Munson is just perfect park style course that's very challenging, and it's definitely one that I highly recommend.
I agree. Munson's one of those courses that has every shot. No shot is the same. There are 18 holes. There's elevation change. There's woods. There's pretty much everything you could ask for in a disc golf course, other than water, just because there's no water around. But actually, there's a river that runs through it. A small little river that you can throw a bee into, and I've done it before.
Well, I know we definitely appreciate everybody's support through 2020. We've got a lot more goals as well for the shop that we're going to kind of go through in one of our next episodes. But we're trying to give away, this is going to be a huge giveaway, y'all. We're going to be giving away a Zuca cart. And it's very easy for you how you can get into this. So first of all, we're going to do this one specifically on our Facebook page. So you got to make sure you're liking us on Facebook. You're going to make sure you're going to tag 3 of your buddies. 3 buddies, and you're going to make sure you share the video. So you're going to have to follow us on Facebook, tag 3 buddies, share the video. We're going to put you into a drawing, and we're going to give away a cart wherever you're at. If you're, it doesn't matter if whatever state, wherever you're at, we're going to mail it to you. If you're local, you can pick it up, swing by the shop. So we're super pumped about this. I know for y'all that know me, I love doing giveaways. That's like one of my things, and I just appreciate everybody's patronage with the shop and just supporting us and coming out to our events and just really, you know, being able to venture out and pick up some plastic or buy a bag or whatever the case may be. And so we just want to give back to everybody who's helped get us to where we're at here, and we definitely have some huge sights ahead for 2021. And so Squatch, anything you'd like to finalize here?
I just want to say we hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. By the time you see this, it'll be afterwards. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and hope that you have a good New Year, and that 2021 be your year, and take a hold of it. And even if negative things are happening, let that go and just let yourself have fun. If you're new to disc golf, try some disc golf. It's blowing up. It's the sport to get into right now. If you're already playing, keep playing. And we appreciate you watching this video and taking the time to watch it.
Absolutely. Well, we wish everybody had an awesome Merry Christmas. Everyone in your families are safe and sound, and definitely looking forward to being able to get back on the course and run some events, and let's start knocking off some of these bucket list things for 2021. Best of luck to y'all. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Bigfoot Squatch out.